We acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians of the Adelaide region, and we pay our respects to all elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to Behind the Content podcast, hosted by myself, Lex.
And me, Matt.
Both experts in content creation with a combined 16 years experience.
Join us as we bring you behind the scenes of our lives as business owners, deep diving into the rise of iPhone wedding content, aligning with your purpose, the wedding industry, and everything in between.
You'll hear from industry experts, talented creators, as well as couples sharing their journeys and insights from their own weddings.
Get comfy and let's grow together as we cover all things wedding content and more every week.
All right.
Welcome.
Episode 13. Lucky number 13.
Yes.
You know, we never used to have a number 13 at where I used to work at the cafe.
Huh.
Because it's unlucky. A lot of cafes don't have that, or restaurants. So if you go to a restaurant next time and there's no number 13, that is why.
Did you know in China they don't have a number? I can't remember what number it is, but even in the elevators and stuff, they completely skip the floor.
Like 8 or something?
Yeah, I think it's 8.
Isn't that their good number though?
No, maybe it's not 8 then.
I don't know.
The unlucky number, they don't have that floor.
13.
No, I don't think it's 13. But I'm going to Google it.
Okay. Anyway, welcome to episode 13. Today we are talking to creators about how to create a timeline for you and talking about, you know, from... What?
So, 4.
4. Yep, Maddie was just on the sidetrack there, guys. Never mind.
Signed adventure.
Number 4. It's
Yeah.
unlucky.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is weird because it's an even number. I think it's not.
Strange.
Strange.
Anywho, what was I saying?
Timeline.
No, that's important stuff, number 4. Timeline for creators. Obviously, you're going to be speaking about your experience as a photographer and what timelines look like for you versus someone like us, content creators only, and how to work that out for yourself and giving you some tips. So very exciting. First, we're going to do some cards. If you're watching this, obviously you've seen me shuffle the cards.
I wonder what we're going to get today.
Fuck knows. I did one last night. My sister was like, do a card on me, and I'm like, I don't do it on you, like you make it yourself. Like you have to shuffle it.
Your destiny decider.
She was so funny. She's like, I love doing the cards. I'm like, okay.
I've had mixed reviews. Some people love our cards, and then some people are like, I'm just not a card person.
Which is fine,
but we're not
you
getting
can
rid
just
of it.
like skip past.
Yeah.
If you don't like this bit, and I was thinking about that this morning. I was listening to our episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if people just skip it. Which is fine,
It's
because
so fine.
just do that. Fucking, I do that all the time with podcasts that I listen to. I just skip them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cute singing.
What am I feeling? Maybe this one.
Oh my gosh, my hair's like a rat's nest in the back. Sorry.
Reach out is the card.
I
if
love
you can
that.
see that. Reach out. That's lovely. That is lovely.
Lovely.
I'll read it because by the time I send it over to you,
We'll need
you can do it on the
a
next.
pigeon to send it in the
Literally
mail.
fucking so far away from each other. Reach out. Okay. We know you're reaching out right now for help due to a current situation. Support is as much about the physical act of accepting help where offered as it is about the emotional benefits and learning that it's truly okay to accept support however it's presented to you. The spirit world is handing this card to you for a specific reason. For many of us, we believe that we can cope with almost anything that's thrown at us, any crisis or turmoil in our lives. But sometimes it's just impossible to actually cope on our own. There will be times, and by receiving this card, it probably signifies that this is one of those times when it's totally okay to reach out and ask for some support. You can't do everything on your own, and the first step is to stop and acknowledge that you could use some help. That's lovely. Once you allow the support to be offered, not only will you feel better, but you'll also be able to achieve so much more. Your health and well-being will be re-energized, and you'll find new ways of coping, both with this current situation and, more important, with those in the future. Also remember, you have help and support there among your friends and family in the physical world, as well as us here in the spiritual world.
That is so nice.
Well, I'm sure many people would benefit from that card.
Yeah.
So reach out, peeps.
Reach out.
Not everyone can read your mind.
You need a village. I was speaking about this yesterday on the wine tour.
Oh, yeah.
You need a village.
And I think it's so important in the wedding industry to reach out to, you know, make friends. It's quite lonely out there, especially for creators. I think we're such a new and niche industry that it, you know, it can be quite isolating because
when no one understands what you're doing, or it's getting out there,
or you just feel
no
like you can't ask your competitors, like, which I find is really difficult. Hence why we're doing this podcast.
There's a lot of closed doors in the,
which I find so strange. Like, why are we all
closing?
Yeah,
everyone's
not sharing.
On their own journey. Like,
a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so I love that. I think that's really important, just to remember, reach out to someone. Like, this is your sign. If you've been thinking about talking to someone or asking a friend for help or reaching out to someone maybe that they need some support at this time and they don't want to ask. Yeah, exactly.
And wedding season, lots of people probably need a bit of community. So,
So, timely for sure. Okay, let's get into it. Yeah. Episode 13.
First, did you have a good weekend?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I had such an amazing weekend. I'm still recovering. I was telling Maddie before we had a 15-hour booking.
It's so weird. Both of our days are the same length. It was just full
I know, which is insane. I don't think I've ever... Our longest was 13, and actually it was for the cousin of this bride. So it just runs in the family.
Runs in the family. Big weddings. It's because they do all the morning celebrations and stuff.
Day starts at 10 and finishes at midnight.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a big
or
one.
longer. So we did 10 to 1.
Yeah.
But did you do the whole day by yourself? Like, from start to finish?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, yeah.
Fucking
Just
hell.
as a content, just content,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did the split shift.
Nice.
Because I was going to get Lizzie to do the whole thing, and I was like, it's just such a... And we were doing the after party after the reception. I was like... And the reception was, obviously, you've seen it. It's just... It was so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I reserve myself for weddings like this, because I'm like, I need to be able to help my creators when they... I didn't want to just put it all on her.
No. And it's also a lot to expect. Like, I'm the same. If there were two of my girls doing it, I wouldn't have one girl.
Exactly.
Because you think about them driving home and then just like, it's a huge day. And if we're doing it, it's for our own business. So
so it's different.
Fine.
But getting someone else to work a 15-hour shift with no breaks. It's illegal. No. Contractors is different. But, massive day. You had a violinist. I had a violinist.
Had violin wine. Yes, some violinists are just in my life at the moment.
Yeah,
so
maybe
cool.
it's a sign.
It's a sign. Let's start violin.
Oh my God, do you know how hard that is? The Sally Cooper, who was our violinist, she was like a prodigy at like 9 years old. She was like traveling the world and stuff. Crazy. Wow. She performed at Jay-Z's 40th birthday party or something like this.
That's
like
epic.
Beyonce hired her. I was like, what the hell?
Gosh,
I was like, I'm a one person. I'm 1 degree away from Beyonce. Like 1 degree of separation.
That's so cool.
Wild.
Evangeline was the one that's really famous for soccer stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
She looks so good. I was like, wow. This is sick. Yeah. So
starstruck
it was
moment.
Nuts. It was nuts. Yeah. It was beautiful. Like, it was good to see all the vendors. It was like all my friends as vendors there.
I love days like that.
Derek from Canela Cartel was there.
Yeah.
Christine, obviously, the coordinator at EOS. Vince was there doing the emceeing. DJ Sav was on the decks for Entertainment Adelaide. Like, all good things. Yeah. Like, all the vendors, I was just like, oh my God, hi.
We had,
like
DJ
Teresa
Emma
Angelique
Peters.
Blossoms. Who do you have?
DJ Emma Peters from Melbourne as well. She was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and they had a DJ from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think they flew together. No, I don't think they came together, but they're both from Melbourne. So
there you go. Oh, shit. Yeah, so wild, so hey. Fun. And meeting new people. It's like, oh, hey.
Which is the whole reason I got into this business. To meet new people.
To make new friends.
Make new friends.
Yeah.
Have new life experiences. Get out of your box.
So good. Yes. So that was officially our third to last. Yeah. However, I got an email on Saturday night from a coordinator that I need to reply to about the 31st of May, and I was like, oh my God.
That's a late one.
Yeah, she's like, I think they need a creator because they haven't got a videographer. Oh, this is at Mount Lofty House. Yeah, nice. I was like, oh, cool. And we haven't shot there before. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, oh, maybe we have. I can't remember. I really don't think so. Maybe once. Who knows? I've lost track of all the venues.
Yeah, there's a lot in Adelaide.
Yeah, but
Adelaide.
So that might be our last one for the season, which is super late. I think our last one last year was like in April.
Yeah, wow.
So we've finished a whole month later this time.
23rd and 24th are my last weekend. That's
Nice.
That's
Oh, you got two, double.
31st, 34th.
23rd.
Friday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a double? Or like, is it one wedding 2 days, or is it two different weddings?
One is a wedding at Simon Hackett Friday. The Saturday is actually an engagement with content and photo, and then after that, the same day is Hitcher and Hooray weddings for Chelsea.
Yeah, cool.
So
Nice.
it's actually four technically. 4 jobs.
Damn.
Including photo and content separated.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I know. Busy
girl.
But then I think that's the last for
And
a
that's
bit.
it, yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I've
31st.
got...
31st, jeez.
31st, yeah. Well, I've got my brother-in-law's wedding on the 24th.
Oh.
So I'll be there.
That's
It's so hard to find a dress. I'm going to go try on some dresses now at Plus One
Oh, nice.
on King Will.
Where's it at?
It's at Plant 4.
Beautiful. Oh, yeah, we had this chat.
Yeah, so very excited.
Love Plant 4.
And I've got my girls going, so I won't have to do the content. I'll only do the
Yay.
groom content in the morning because I'll actually be there with them getting ready and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about that. I'll be like, with my phone, but like, I'll just be like, sorry.
It's just fun
like,
content.
I know the photographer, videographer as well, so I'm
cool.
excited to
Who is it?
see them. The Best Part Films.
Nice.
So Mallow and the team.
Yeah.
He is amazing and he's just such a chiller. So I'm very excited.
Chiller. We
about
love a
that.
chiller.
Yeah, so good. So it'll be great. And we've got Johnny Concept on the decks later. He, if you know from Adelaide, guys, what he's like. And hopefully if we get Pretty Green Eyes on, he will sing it and maybe take his top off. He does that. So classic. I don't think he does that anymore. I think he got told off from some menus.
That's so unfair.
He's so funny.
That's like when celebrants get told off for doing the shot after they get married. You know how some give out shots after
Do they?
tie the knot?
No, I've seen that. Yeah, but what do you mean they get told off? What?
Yeah,
'Cause the
so a
liquor
couple of
licensing.
them been told off before.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I'm like, let them have their fun.
God, get
God
a grip. So cool. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The wrap on our
Couple
wedding.
gave us a fireball shot on the weekend. Like,
Fucking oath, take
at
it.
the city. And
Yeah.
it burnt the whole way down, but it was delicious.
Oh, it's so good though.
It was
It's
a
good
nice
when
way to
you
warm up.
fireball. You can only have if you've just started drinking. I think because
Yeah.
if you have it
It was my
after,
first drink of the
it's
day.
a disaster zone, disaster class.
Disaster. And it wasn't
Literally.
even... No, it was probably just afternoon.
Yeah, and it's like it's warm, cinnamony.
yeah.
I like it.
It's basically a chai latte.
But you literally can you imagine? But you literally can't have fireball with anything else. It's like tequila. Like you've got to stick to the one thing. I reckon.
Very strong flavour.
Tell me about it. Good times. Let's get into it. Okay, so timeline. Let's fucking go. All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit mainly about the rule, not the exception, which the exception I think is if you don't have a photographer or videographer.
You're doing it all, honey.
You're doing it all and then some, which could relate to things like engagement parties, birthdays.
Yeah. And those timelines are
Smaller
probably a
events.
really good place to start. Like if you are starting out and you're doing those events, because at least you can get the hang of it. Because a wedding is usually much longer
And more pressure.
and more pressure
And a lot more money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll talk mainly about wedding day timelines, but we can kind of dive into some like elopements and micro wedding stuff and other events that you might be the sole timeline creator on. But generally, they're more low stakes. So that's good. So timeline number 1. So we're going to find out what the order of events are.
Yes, we are. Yes. And start backwards. Do you want to jump into that at the same time?
Yeah, go for it.
So generally I will... It's a bit different for me because like if I'm on photo, I'll be planning the whole timeline with photo like back to front, and not always will content link up with that. Like it will be... Sometimes content in the morning, for example, like when you're getting detail shots, content can be getting candids and then they can jump in and get some of that after, and then they can do their plan TikTok. So this is where you can't always follow a photographer's timeline 100% if you're trying to kind of write your own story, if that makes sense, without taking over the day. But yeah, generally I'll start from the end of the night and work backwards from there. And
what if they don't know?
When
what if they're like, it's too early? Yeah,
don't know
it's, I had a call with someone yesterday and they're getting married in January.
Yeah.
So it's May now.
Yeah.
So they weren't really sure what time we would be finishing up. Or
Well-
they would even be finishing up, like, first dance and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I generally wouldn't make the timeline till the month before.
Okay.
Yeah, that's generally where I'll start putting it together. If they request it earlier than that, then I'm happy to do that. But I'm confident that I would always be able to do it the month before, and it will be completely fine
Yeah.
because it will probably change at least 2 to 3 times. So,
How do you do it if you're photographer and then you need to find out what the timings are for the venue, like meals and stuff? Does it matter?
Oh, for like them eating or us eating?
For their meeting.
Them eating. It does
Yeah.
matter because speeches and
Circulate around that. Yeah.
around that, and you getting fed circulates around that if you've done a whole day. And
Sometimes it doesn't
does
get
not, yeah.
prioritised.
No, it does not. You're usually what will happen is you get fed after all the guests
Or
have been
before.
fed.
Yeah.
I've never been fed before, and
Yeah.
I always say it would make so much sense to feed the vendors before because then they're ready to go to keep capturing. And when all the guests are getting fed, we're
They're
just
sitting
standing
down.
around, and no one wants photos of people eating food.
No.
So we should just be eating in that time.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on when speeches are happening. If they're happening at mealtime,
Yeah, and
or
sometimes they
once
do.
mains have gone down.
Yeah.
Like, or we had the other day, it was
Because a lot of venues
It
won't
was-
do speeches
no.
until everyone's got their food in front of them as well because they don't want people walking around.
around. Yeah, totally.
So that makes it tricky.
Yeah. So it just depends on when entrees and mains are getting placed as well.
Yeah.
And then those things change too. But usually with the menu, they know what they're doing and they don't want to change it because they have a specific structure that they have back of house that they need to get all these plates out there. And you might be 80 people, might be 280 people.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah.
on the weekend that sometimes they do that because if they run out of food, it doesn't matter if the vendors don't get fed. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was like, shit, that's brutal.
Nice.
But it makes sense, I guess.
It was so nice actually sitting there on Saturday night and
Yeah, you
eating
got a full meal.
Every single course we got catered
That's
for. And we had a whole table to ourselves. Like all the vendors sat down and we had our antipasto, which was there
So
already,
nice.
the seafood platter that we
And
got
it
to
makes
share.
sense because you're all
It was
eating
so
when
nice.
everyone else is eating. So there's nothing
Exactly.
to
And there was
capture.
nothing going on.
No.
And also that means the couple gets to eat.
Yes.
Because-
Without a camera in their face.
Exactly. Like they have to eat. So the only time that they're going to get fed is when everyone else is eating.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, we were like eating our mains. I was like, this is really nice just to actually not feel like rushed to go and get. Like it was very well paced considering
Yeah.
the amount of stuff that was happening at this wedding. Like it was nuts. Just the amount of like coordination detail was beautiful. I was like, this is like chef's kiss, like
Nailed
stunning how they've just coordinated everything
beautiful.
together. It was great. Like everyone got to eat. The speeches got recorded. Like we didn't have to do it because the videographers were doing it, but like we got all the things, all of the entertainment was done.
Yeah.
Everyone had time to dance. Like it was just
It's great.
executed to perfection.
Yeah. I think, yeah, our wedding was very similar, very beautiful. Everyone just did their job so well, which is why you should always have a good team.
Totally.
Get a good team who knows what they're doing.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone just and all the guests got to like kind of hang out. They went to like the little bar in there, like between eating and stuff. So everyone got to kind of mingle and things
Good.
too without just like bang, bang, bang. Like here's all the things. And they only had 3 speeches. They all happened under 15 minutes. It was a fucking
Dream.
godsend.
Our
I was
speech
like,
so short as well. I was
Yeah.
like, this never happens.
I was like, oh my gosh. It was just the father of the groom, the best men, because there were multiple, and the groom, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
No one from the bride side, though. So that was interesting, but I think it was just a choice. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Less speeches, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so working backwards, I guess you'll know from
And
when
from
you're
the big
closer.
key events, like if working backwards sounds like a huge job, then do the main things. And if they don't know, probably start from, if they don't know the later details, just go from maybe when the reception's probably going to start and when the ceremony finishes. Because between that, you can work out what's going to...
Yeah, how long the ceremony goes for. Could be half an hour, could be 45 minutes.
Could be 3
an
hours.
hour. Yeah, we've had a ceremony where
Cultural
it's gone
ceremonies go
for an
long.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Greek ones go for 45 minutes. That's a short version.
Yeah.
Some
Because
Catholic
isn't Sunday
ones do a mass.
for Orthodox like 3 hours or 2.5 hours or something?
It's so
They're long.
Yeah, and no one goes early except for the ERs. So that's why no one goes to church.
That's handy to know.
Because who has 3 hours from 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, honestly? Adapt with the times is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
From one Greek to another. But when, I guess, like when I'm doing the consult call with a couple, and they want to book me in, like last night's a great example of the chat I had with my bride. She's like, oh, we can book 8 hours, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but you don't want us at the ceremony because it's a very intimate, like 10 people ceremony in the city. And then they're going to go and do some portraits. But she's got like 4 hours of like time between, because the ceremony's at 11 a.m.
Wow.
She's got time between 11 a.m., like whenever the ceremony finishes at like 11:30, maybe 12. Because I think they're Muslim.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how long that ceremony goes for. But then they've got portraits until they're going back to the reception venue at 4 o'clock. I was like, you don't have a bridal party.
Wow.
I was like, you have so much time
that was like
to
this
do
weekend's
portraits.
wedding. It was
huge
nuts.
amount of time.
Finished, and we had so much time in the city.
I was like,
just
where are you
to,
going?
Like,
Yeah.
we got a coffee, and then we showed
Chill
up,
out.
and it was just chill as.
And I think their canapes start at 5:30 for
Yeah.
a 6 o'clock reception for guests.
Yeah.
And I was like, we can start then. Like, we can start at 5:30, but I would say let's do till 10:30 because then
let's just
if your first dance
go.
is going to be like 9:30, we'll get. I always say like, I'll work backwards based on half an hour after your first dance.
Yeah.
Unless there's like something else like late night snacks or they want sparkler
Like
exit,
special little events.
things that are happening after
I
first
heard
dance.
yesterday that someone did sparkler entrance instead of sparkler exit.
Oh, I love that.
Which cuts off, like, you wouldn't
So
have to
good.
hire your professionals for the very end of the night because you just get it done.
Yeah, midnight.
Yeah. I think sparkler exits is slowly dying out as well, though. I don't think they're going to be around forever.
No, I don't think so either. I've seen people do like the Irish exit when they have the last, it's like the last dance, they're with the DJ, they're like vibing, and then they just chow.
Chow.
It's like, that's a vibe. I really love that.
Ciao. I thought you were going to say do shots or
No,
something.
they just
like
see ya.
drink.
No.
Have a massive
No, Irish
skull.
exit, like leave without saying goodbye.
Ah, there you go. New
yeah.
vocab for Maddie.
Yeah. So that timeline, for example, I'm like, well, let's just book you in for 5 hours from 5:30 to 10:30.
Yeah.
We'll move it around if you want us to come for portraits because you don't know, it's like, 10 months away, longer.
Exactly.
We'll just figure it out closer to the date. But I said, call me, like book the call when you've spoken to your photo video team and or your venue coordinator. Because we're just going to go with, as a creator, based on everyone
What
else's
they're
timeline.
doing.
Like we're going to go with you, photo video or like venue, because I'm not going to dictate the timeline.
No.
I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to direct, dictate. I'm just here to fucking go with the flow.
Yes,
So
but it's good to have your own timeline because
you need it for
photographer's
yourself.
Not gonna, they're not going to have
Totally.
reels in there like when to make it.
No.
So it's good that we do our own, and people should do their own.
But it's like based off of what already
Yes.
exists as
Yep.
facts of timings, locations, and specific things that your couple will want as well.
Yeah, like the wedding on the weekend, they asked for something that they didn't ask necessarily for photography, but they said, can we get you to get like a cute photo of the dog looking in at us in the ceremony because they can't come into the church? And I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. And that's a great job for content creator
That's
or
really
a second
cute.
shooter because you can just...
Yeah, because like your
Slip
photographer's
away.
got more important things
Yeah,
to
they
capture.
need to get the first
like,
kiss.
I mean, more important than your dog, obviously,
No,
but
yeah.
there's pressure on them to
They're
get
probably-
the fucking shot, like
yeah.
to get the one and only shot. That the time is fleeting, like the time at your first kiss or coming back up the aisle, like those things you can't, as a photographer,
miss.
Yeah, we're video recording, so like even if we stumble a little bit, like you're still capturing most of the
Oh my
moment.
god, there was a video I was taking the other day and I tripped over. And now that I just keep everything in there, I'm like, I laugh at myself. I'm like,
Yeah,
these
you'll
are-
see it.
It's just funny that these couples get to relive my whole day through,
Yeah.
like their whole day through my eyes.
I've got like videos in there that I haven't deleted of like, me and the photographer like cheersing our drinks at the reception.
It's just everything.
I was like, sorry, you get that, I don't care. Like,
Sorry.
whatever. That
Whatever.
was the vibe.
That was bad.
Cool. So working backwards from when they want you to finish is always a good way.
From the key events.
Next up, key parts of the day, start times and what's important to them. So like I said, the ceremony won't be captured for this particular couple I booked last night.
Yeah.
But that's because you have to ask the question.
Yeah.
You can't just assume that you're going to be there for the whole day. If you are, it's good, but also, they might be on a budget or they're just like, oh, it's not really my vibe. Or sometimes the reception isn't really something they want you to capture.
Yeah.
We've done work for like 4 hours before. It's just like getting ready, ceremony and some portraits. And then we left at 5 p.m.
Wow.
I was like, great.
And then once you've made a couple, it will get way easier. Like you'll have a template. You will end up having probably 2 or 3 templates. I know a few planners will send options, like what your day will look like with this timeline and what your day would look like with this timeline, and one's got like you'll have an hour with guests and one's got like you won't have an hour with anyone.
Yeah.
Like it's good to have options, and not all weddings going to be the same. So at first it's really tricky, and then it will get easier.
And I think couples really, you know, they're getting married for the first time, most of them, and they're not in the wedding industry, so they don't know what's up. Like they are like, oh yeah, let's go to this place and this place and this place, and it's like, hold on,
Holy
moly. You want to go from the hills to the beach.
I want to do the palm trees, and then I want to go to the city.
Because we've had this before. There's been we've actually had to drive half an hour each way just to a portraits location. I'm like, do you know that's an hour out of your whole day,
nuts.
Portraits time. If you can afford it, fine. But like,
no one can afford. You can afford, even if you can afford the money. Can you really afford the time?
But that's what I mean, though. Like, if they can afford the time, then so be it.
Yeah.
But fuck, like that's a whole hour out of your wedding day that someone's in the car just to go to one location.
Jenna,
unless it's like
just
so
do a second day
significant
shoot.
to you.
Do a second day shoot. Like put your dress on the next day, get makeup done again.
Get dressed up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think knowing what's going to be important to them, and they might not even know what's important to them, to be honest with you. Some couples are just like, I don't know, I want to capture everything, or like, what do you usually do? Because they'll come to you as the expert for your experience. I always say I hate missing portraits personally, because that is the time. This is every time I speak to someone, I always say it's after your ceremony, so there's no jitters, everyone's calm, and it's the first time you actually get to spend time with each other on the day.
Relax.
Unless you've done like a first look or something. But again, it's post-ceremony, you still feel like this weight off your shoulders.
Yeah.
The hard work's done, now we can have fun.
Yeah.
So doing portraits, I find, is always the best way for the couple to, you know, just have some fun together, have fun with their bridal party, have a drink, eat something, and just chill without having all this bombardment of people coming to congratulate you and stuff, obviously, which is great, but it can be overwhelming.
Can be very overwhelming.
So I always say I hate to miss portraits. So either if we can do getting ready ceremony on portraits, or start from portraits, or start from ceremony, and just whatever, I just need to get those portraits. And it also feeds into the reels that we usually do, which is like a romantic edit.
Yes, exactly.
That's gonna like 70% of the romantic edit
is your bridal portrait.
the couple portraits, because it's like that's the time you're most intimate, holding hands, kissing, hugging.
I can't imagine not being there for portraits. Like that would be crazy.
It's happened before. I've had someone one time, I'll never do this again, where they booked us for the ceremony, and then we had to go home and have a break, which was like I'm never offering that ever again, because it's such a waste of time, not only for my creator, because they can't do anything else on that day but wait a few hours and then come back to the reception. It just does not work. No. I refused to do it.
Oh, so you like started the package, start the package, started the package?
Yeah, again? And I only did it because I felt bad for the couple. They really were on such a tight budget. They really wanted the ceremony, they really wanted the reception, but they couldn't afford to have us over the portraits time. So I worked, this is like 2 years ago now, when I was a bit more, you know, novice and a bit more like, oh yeah, like I'll help you out, blah, blah, blah. And it was just didn't work out for us in a way that I had wanted it to work out. Yeah. And then they were also upset in a way. It was kind of funny because she was like, oh, like I wish you could come to portraits. And it's like, you didn't pay us. Sorry, like we're leaving. Yeah. Like it doesn't What work. Do you mean you wish I could come, but you're not going to pay me to be there for 3 hours? No. Does not make sense.
Does not compute.
So I was like, ciao, see you in 3 hours. And then I came to the reception and I was like, oh, it's like we were doing TikToks and stuff and we did some fun stuff and yada yada. And I was just like, okay. Next part we want to talk about is vacations. And if you have travel fees, disclose them to your couple, but instead of just like fucking sending it to them and not telling them. So whenever I'm talking to a couple, I'm always like, okay, what are the locations? Let's look at, you know, do I have travel fees outside of a certain radius? So if we're traveling to the hills, McLaren Vale, wineries, whatever. Some people have, you know, one of my one-on-one clients, she's got a 100-mile radius. She's in the US. And I was like, bring that down to 50.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And also where she is, a lot of the venues are far away.
Because, like, I think people think leaving the CBD to go to a venue, but what if you're going from that venue all the way to the other side of the CBD again?
What if you're going to, like, 3 hours away? Yeah. Like, for South Australia, you know, you
could
be driving a road.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
So yes, disclosing your travel fees. So if you are super far away, you need to tell your couple. But just make sure that wherever you're living, you know, like I know that you, for example, will
So I don't include...
do it from where you live.
No.
No?
No.
Ah, I thought you would do it from like the north.
Nah. I do it from...
CBD?
CBD.
Yeah, same.
Because I'm like, it just, even though it sucks for me, it's not the couple's fault where I live. Like,
Yeah, fair enough. Like if you have to go down south, it shouldn't be there. Yeah. I guess it depends, because I know that some photographers will do from where they live.
Yeah,
which
I
is
know.
fine.
And that's fine. Like, it's all how you do your business, but I'm just like, I couldn't be bothered explaining to couples, like, I'm going to charge you from here because this is where I'm from. And
Yeah, totally. Like, this is how long I have to take to travel to
I'm
your
from Switzerland.
location.
So
Yeah. Sorry, I'm coming from Melbourne. Yeah, so I think it depends on where you're coming from in like a proximity kind of thing. So
if it's like a destination, like interstate, I'll charge
totally,
from, like, obviously that's
different.
But
But in your state or in your area, so to speak, that would warrant, I think, if you have to drive there and you can come back home on the same day, then a travel fee should apply. And then if you actually have to stay the night, which is another question that one of my coaching clients asked me, is what should I do, because it's 4 hours away, for example, one way.
Wow.
And she wants me to finish at 11.
Yep.
And I was like, you need to
accommodation.
either say I'm finishing at 9 p.m. so I can get home safe, or if you want me to finish later than that, I need accommodation for one night in the area at your cost.
Yeah.
You know, and just find like a hotel, motel, whatever, holiday in.
Hotel, motel, holiday.
Miss it through a vibe. So yeah, I think you have to talk about those things, because then when you are quoting them initially, so the timeline stages kind of happen in two bits, I think, is when you initially talk to them in your consult and when you are doing your pre-wedding call. Yeah, for sure. So it's going to change. Yeah. The next note on that is that when you're finalising your timeline, can you either get the coordinator or the venue timeline or the photographer timeline, and also be aware that timelines will change. So I had a timeline change on me at a wedding a few weeks ago, the day before, and no one sent me the update. And I got to I was at the wedding. I was like, oh yeah, so we're going to do this and that later. And they're like, no, like that changed, or this timing's changed, or this and that. I'm like, okay.
Do you know this happened to a celebrant?
I was like, I'm just going to throw out all of my notes.
Yeah. Just start from scratch. Today's, we're just going to wing it today.
But yeah, as a creator, you don't get plugged into that shit, because a photographer or videographer or whatever is going to be in charge of that.
Much early. Like a celebrant showed up 2 hours early because they changed the day before.
No, the day before. For the ceremony.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You kind of need to tell the person that's running the ceremony that.
Yeah. Nuts. Can't imagine it.
No, thank you. So, yeah, couples, if you're listening, CC in all of your vendors if timelines change, because they will, or if you have a venue coordinator or like a planner. This is where planners come in handy so much, and I feel like they're just not utilised.
Get a planner, get a coordinator.
I mean, in the US, it's so common. How common is it?
I don't think you would have a wedding without one.
They don't have weddings without a planner.
No, not unless you're getting a loan.
It's like a total, even then.
Yeah.
It's like a must-have, but here it's not, which I find so interesting culturally.
And people thinking like the venue coordinator is a planner.
No.
Not the same.
They coordinate the venue.
Yeah. They've got all their shit to coordinate. The cooking staff. The
back end
staff. Your wedding is a priority, but they can't do everything.
They're not going to coordinate anything outside of the venue, are they? No. So, unless you pay them extra, I don't know. But
maybe they have an add-on package. Look into it.
Yeah, I think a wedding coordinator or a planner is severely underappreciated here in Australia, because the amount of stress that it is put on
I wish someone told me to get a planner, and that if I did, it would have saved me so much money and time and stress and tears. And
look, we know a lot of planners here in SA.
And there's so many, they're really good.
They're incredible. They just take so much stress off of your plate. Like, it's delegating for a reason. You just tell them what you want, or tell them, hey, like, this is the thing you need to delegate and sort that out. Thanks. And then fucking go off with your day.
Yeah, Chelsea even wipes the candles so they all look pretty and polished. You wouldn't think that's a job that needs to be done, but
Literally.
it's bloody all these things.
All your place cards, everything is just
Yeah.
like, oh, nuts. So, yeah, doing that I think is really important. Yeah, and knowing that things aren't always going to go to plan.
Mm-hmm. They won't.
It's a wedding. Things run late. They don't always go to plan. I've had a creator once, this is a timeline thing. We got given the timeline the week before the wedding, and she was meant to leave with the bridal party. Like, everyone was leaving on the bus from the venue, and I think I've spoken about this before, from the ceremony venue to the reception venue, and they were going to take portraits at the reception venue. But our creator didn't get told that actually they're doing portraits at the ceremony venue. So she's left at 5 with everyone else, the guests, the bridal party, except for the couple, thinking that everyone's going to join, couple's going to come.
Oh my God.
You know, venue's 5 minutes away, not even from each other.
Yikes.
But she's like, where's the couple? Like, where are they? Blah, blah, asking the bridal party. Yeah, they should be here soon, blah, blah, blah. An hour later, they come to the reception and they missed the whole portrait session. I was like, fuck. And she's like, oh my God, like, I didn't want to leave because, like, what if I left and they came? You know what I mean? Like, which I get.
Yes,
so she was just
100%.
trying to navigate it the best way possible.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, oh, it's so annoying. Apparently they added it on last minute with
it's
the
not her
photographer.
fault. No.
And we didn't get told, which is not anyone's, like, I mean, it is what it is. And I said,
Shit will happen.
I looked through all of my emails. I looked through all the timelines. I was like, fuck. Because I was just like freaking out.
You would be. I would be absolutely
like, oh
on
my
the
God,
floor.
did we fuck that
I'd
up?
be doing my floor lie, like
Literally
ground
like, oh my God.
myself.
I was like, fuck. And she was so, like, the creator was really upset with herself as well. She was like, oh my God, I should have spoken to. I was like, but yeah, but what you know is the timeline that we're given.
Yeah, and
so
you also
we're going
on
to
the
stick
day
to
you
that.
don't want to sound like you don't know what you're doing. And be like, are we going
when are
here
we?
now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just checking.
Yeah.
But no, they did a whole hour of portraits.
Poor
And I was like, oh my
thing.
God. And I said, can you just ask the photographer if we're doing any last light photos?
Yeah.
And they did.
Good, yeah.
Thank God. But we didn't get as many portraits as I would have liked and what we would have liked. I said, look, if the bride complains, which she didn't,
That's good.
all I have in correspondence is this literally clear as day. It says, everyone leave the venue at 5 p.m. to arrive at the reception venue. Everyone. I was like, oh no. So things change and shit
change.
fucking hits the fan.
Yep.
And
if you
just
I
got to
think
be
I've
composed.
said this before, but if it's not really related to timeline, but God forbid you miss something or time runs over or short and you don't get time to do a part of a reel or something, you just got to improvise and be ballsy enough to say to the couple, hey, can we do that again? Or hey, can we do this? And the worst they're going to say is no.
Yeah.
And if they say yes, you get what you need, and that's good. That's good enough.
And also in your contract, it should have no guarantee about, you know, I reread our contracts the other day, and it does state, you know, to the best of our ability, we will capture everything that we can try to capture. However, we cannot guarantee that we can do everything as stated in our notes on the list or whatever, in our correspondence.
Like if the aisle's this big and you're trying to get first kiss and a photographer and videographer, the first kiss video isn't going to look as good as some people's first kiss video where we're standing right next to the photographer.
Yeah, exactly. Or things like when you miss, you know, an hour of portraits because you weren't told that information. So you just need to have all these things in your contracts and look after yourself. Yeah. Protect yourself from things because they can go wrong and they probably will.
Protect yourself.
Yeah. Last light photos, I like to use time and date, but usually the photographer will know when last light is, which is sunset photos, another word for sunset photos. You like to use another website? Sun Tracker?
Sun Tracker, yeah.
Yep.
Or Alpine Glow because it tells you when blue hour is, but
Alpine.
And it does it according to location.
Okay.
But when you're in a valley, or just always be mindful that if you're in a valley or you're at somewhere where there's like lots of trees, you're not going to get as good lighting.
It needs to be earlier, probably.
Yeah. So if you don't have photographer and videographer on, you need to be on the ball with that.
Yeah, and maybe even do a recce, like do a reconnaissance.
Yep.
If you are the only one doing so, if it's like a micro wedding or an elopement, and you're the only person doing content, video, photo, then potentially do a recce of the venue or wherever you're going. So, you know, take some time out of the week or earlier in that month to actually go and check out the space and do what photographers do essentially, which is recce's, which is why they get paid more, because they actually put more time and effort into what they're doing as well as everything else in between and the equipment, edits, blah, blah, blah. We know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for things like events indoors, you know, like a hall or, you know, a restaurant or something, it's probably not that important. It's more for outdoor things, or, you know, if you need particular, I don't know, if you know, prior preparation prevents poor planning, as we always say. So if you feel like you want to do a recce, go and do it by all means if you've got the time. Or ask someone who's shot there what it's like.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Ask and you shall receive. Reach out, like the card before.
Have you noticed my jumpers like... I just get so sidetracked.
The ADHD thing. The last thing we will say is, I guess, touch on, is your photographer shot list versus your shot list as a creator.
It'll be different.
Does your couple want you at portraits, or do they want you at canapé hour if there's just one of you? So some couples, they really want to get guest content, and it might just be you and only you. Ask them where you want them to be. At family photos is a great one. So I always ask, family photos are happening after the ceremony.
Yes, so good.
Where do you want us? Do you want us to capture BTS of family photos? Yeah, some do though.
Really?
And then, and they're like, yeah, just capture like us, you know.
We'll do a little bit, but
having fun and whatever.
I've never really put it to them, because in my head I'm like...
It's very stagnant.
It's just there.
It's just posing.
Although I did get a very cute video of a grandma and the bride like having a really cute moment during family photos. So don't knock it out completely.
Exactly. So it could be that the location that you're having it, everything's at one spot. You could do, after the ceremony, ask your couple, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to be at family photos with you and the photographer? Or do you want me to go and get the start of cocktail hour at canapes and get your guests mingling and stuff like that? And then I can come with you to portraits. Or, you know, I've been told before by a photographer in Italy, who shall not be named, who probably doesn't even know my name, that they would like me to not be at the portraits because they were so annoyed that I was there to begin with, even though they were told that we would be there.
What did the couple want though?
The couple were just... They were just defeated. I think they were just like, oh, like
Which you
whatever.
You should not feel like that on your wedding
Totally.
day.
The couple were just like, oh, like, fine, whatever. Like, and I was like...
You didn't want to deal with the argument.
But the makeup artist...
Went.
Classic. She went and did... Because she's like, oh, I'll do touch-ups and stuff, you know, during... It was like literally a couple of last light photos. It must have been 15 minutes worth of photos. And I was like... And then I just snuck back in there because then we were doing they were doing some stuff around the grounds. And she sent me the content. She was so funny. She's like, oh my God, I got some videos and photos of them like doing their thing or whatever. And she's like, do you want me to send them to you? I was like, yes, please. Oh my God. So if anyone sees that content, it was Alessandra.
Thanks, Alessandra.
She's a fucking legend. So yeah, that was like such a one-off for me of like, we don't want you at portraits. And I was just like, I wasn't. But I wanted to say that, but I was like, whatever. And I didn't make a scene obviously at the couple. I'm just like, I literally just went to the couple and said, okay, what do you want?
Yes.
Because it's your day. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Just go and get some content of our guests. They were eating. It was this is the wedding that was like 4 different fucking menus, and it was amazing. And the food was like food on food on food on food for like 10 hours.
Yes.
It was insane. So there wasn't not anything to get. Like I had plenty of content to go and capture. It's just that portraits is like my priority. Yeah, and then everything else comes second. However, if the couple's like, don't worry about it, go and do some stuff for the guests, cool.
Done. No worries.
It's your day.
See you later.
Not my day. I don't care. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I don't have any emotional connection to it or hang-ups. I'll just do what you want me to do. I'm literally here for you.
Yes.
You paid for me. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's probably, like, you didn't get... I love that you
I didn't get my back up about it because, like...
No, but you also didn't let the photographer control the story. Like, it wasn't like he said no and then you're like, okay, listening to him. You still went and spoke to the couple. Oh, wow, okay. But yeah. You still didn't listen to her and you went and asked the couple. Like, that's such a good way to do it.
Because I'm not working for you.
Yeah, be respectful of the photographer and videographer, but you've still got your own business to run. So...
But I'm being paid by the couple, not... the photographer. Mm-hmm. I was being paid by the photographer. Fucking, they can tell me whatever
100%.
they want.
Yeah, go stand on the roof.
Not whatever they want. You know, respect everyone around you. But yeah.
100%.
Who are you working for?
Yeah.
You have to remind yourself, who am I working for?
Yeah.
So
as a team, you're meant to be a team.
Totally. And I think not enough, and I'll, we'll say this with love, but I don't think enough photographers and videographers ask themselves, who am I working for? Like, am I working for the couple? Am I working for myself? Like, this isn't about what you were doing.
Yeah.
You're getting hired because they loved your work, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the couple are paying you to capture their day. And yeah, obviously couples, sometimes they don't know, they want things, and it's like they want the world, or they want something ridiculous, or things that they don't know, so they're asking you.
Yes.
I mean, just
help them out. Yeah.
The
industry is a bit sour sometimes. It can be a little bit sour.
And I get it.
You
like, you can get bitter from those experiences,
Yeah.
and like couples.
I don't ever want to get to that point though. I never want to
some people,
feel like
everyone's
that.
different, Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's such a happy medium between having a thriving business and then being a good person still, and being there for the couple. At the end of the day, I don't care what your excuse is. You should be there for the couple.
And people listening, like, what you're like. So if you feel some kind of way about what we're saying, maybe there's something there that you need to work through. Yeah. Because if you're getting upset or triggered,
it will bite you in the butt one day. A couple will call you out and they will say you're being kind of, that's not okay.
So if you're at all triggered by things that we say, which I don't think is very triggering anyway, because I think it's just should be common. Yeah, common sense is not usually common. You have a social business,
like you are with people. You should be a kind person too.
Yeah.
So, and likewise, should also, your couple should be the same back to you. Like it's
it's a mutual respect. Yeah. So there's definitely times where it's warranted, where the couple's not being lovely and understanding and respectful, but then sometimes it's on the other foot as well, where the photographer or videographer or content creator are not being adaptable.
Yes.
So it's such a sticky subject, isn't it?
I feel it's so sticky. I feel like
it makes me feel weird
icky.
talking about it, but I'm like, sometimes
needs to be said.
If you feel some kind of way about what we're saying, or you know what you're like, so check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, actually be honest with how are you on a wedding day with your couples and stuff, and do you have a I don't know, like
the
a hang
couple
up.
has done this once and you are doing it for a 50th, 1,000, probably whatever time you've done it. Even if it's your 10th time, you've done 10 weddings, they've done one probably, or 2 if they're getting married a second time. You should always come from a place of education and support, not a place of defensiveness and anger. Like if they're saying something
like, don't
that's
take it personally.
I
know it's really fucking hard to do that.
Oh yeah, it's a skill.
So hard not to take it personally. Even like talking with a photographer the other day, and he's like, the couple haven't posted any of my photos, but they posted all of your content. I was like, my guy, are you serious? Don't worry. Like they literally posted. I said I didn't hear from the couple for like 2 weeks, and then on the weekend they posted like 6 reels in a row. It was like bang, 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 bang.
Wow.
So it was like spam.
Yes.
Next level. So I was like, it's probably that she hasn't actually gotten to your work yet to even post it, and it's so overwhelming.
And posting
I have
a
to
photo
remind myself
post,
that as well.
I feel like posting a photo post. I put.
It's always a photo post first. I feel it's always a photo before content, but this time it was opposite way, and he was like, I guess they really like your work.
Yeah, but you can't get upset by it.
I honestly think it's because they. Yeah, maybe they're just easier to upload because they're done. But also, like, going through your photos is a process, especially if you get like 150 sneak peeks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yes. And if you don't want to post all of them, and you got to pick between the first kiss or the Alexa, or like all these. Yeah,
I had to, and like again talking about my creators that I work with and one-on-one, she was like, I didn't have someone like get back to me about content, blah blah blah, and I was like, it's fine, just don't take it personally because you are literally. They don't operate like you operate. No, they're not a type A personality. So this couple might just be super flaky with their emails, and then they'll come back to you when they're ready. Yeah. So and then she's like, she messaged me last night. She was like, hey, I finally heard back from that bride.
Good.
And she wants to book me. It had absolutely. I was like. She's like, had nothing to do with me. I was like, I know, I fucking told you that. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with you.
It doesn't. No.
It's nothing personal. It's just that you know, people work full time, they have commitments, they have kids, they have whatever. It's nothing to do with you, whether they don't get back to you. I mean, we've gone on a bit of a tangent now, but away from timeline stuff, but whether they've not gotten back to you about you thanking you for your content or your photos or whatever, they haven't gotten back to you on a timeline, they haven't gotten back to you on anything, like they just are probably inundated with stuff, or they just are not the kind of person to reply to the email the next day.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with you. So don't take it personally.
Please do not.
So I think once I learnt how to do that and to be like, okay, this has nothing to do with me. This is not it's not a personal attack.
No.
This isn't them sending a message. Like, fucking hell.
Everything.
We are meaning making machines.
Yes.
Humans have to
understand
to make meaning out of everything.
Yes.
It's like, what does that mean? What does it mean when they didn't say this, or like the pause, you know, what does that mean? So just like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
But like, really, I'm talking to myself here because I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, chill out, girl.
Actually, chill. Yeah.
So, rant over,
It's
sorry.
hard. It's hard.
Love you all.
Yeah.
Just take a chill pill, bro.
Chill pill. Don't let it affect your business. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Be a bit more like me.
Your couples aren't
unobservant.
thinking about you like you're thinking about them.
No.
There's no way.
No.
Because we think about them so much.
They are our whole life.
Yeah.
No.
And they're
A lot of our life. We have a life.
Yeah.
Outside of our business. Don't we? Yes. Yes.
Speak for yourself. Which business? Yeah. So anyway, that is the final thing I will say about that. I don't know if you've got anything else that you would like to add onto the timeline / the rant I just fucking went on.
No.
Which I don't even remember how we got onto that. Because I was talking about the Italy wedding.
I think I started it. Timeline. Nah. Yeah, just don't freak out if things run over. That's bad.
And also just talk to your couple like on the day.
Yeah.
If things are running a half an hour over, like ask
I actually
them.
feel more safe on a wedding day because when things change, I'm like, oh, I can just speak to them. But when things are changing before the wedding day, I'm like, emails. Like, get back to me, waiting for an email.
And they're
waiting
usually
for this.
fine in person.
Yeah.
People are not going to be that much
different.
You know, they're not going to be rude in person. More likely than not. People are usually more rude over email because there's no face. They can be a bit keyboard warrior-ish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So in person, it's probably actually going to be easier for you to get an answer and something that is verbal.
Yep. And communication is key.
That's fucking right.
Yep. Talk.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is our episode for today.
Done and dusted. I hope that helps. I think that was really helpful. I could have used an episode like that when I was starting photography. Even if starting photography, I could have used an episode like that.
And I think, just when you're doing your timeline, maybe just something to quickly touch on is just break it down into dot points for yourself to give yourself on the day. I give myself like a whole thing of notes. Some of my creators actually screenshot the like priority notes and put it on their background for the day on their phone. So they can literally see everything. It's like the reels, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the things you need to capture for the reels. And then everything else, they've got in their phone in their notes. That's always a nice little hack to have. I mean, I just have my notes open anyway. But usually I don't even look through it because I'm kind of just going with the flow anyway. Yeah. It's not like such a strict thing that I'm like, okay, now 4:05, we've got to do this and shit. Like,
that's why you have a
not my job.
List. Yeah.
Photographer's meant to be directing everyone and shit. I'm like, woohoo, at the back.
I made a joke about that the other day, which I did not want to say on here because like content creators have so much going through their brain and it's not like they're thinking like this. But sometimes when I'm on content, I'm like, I'll look at the photographer like doing everything, controlling the whole day, and then in my head I'm like, la 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 la.
Literally.
Where is he? Where are they? Okay,
like that trend is like, literally my brain on a wedding
But we
day.
work hard, damn it.
Yeah, when we're on, we're on. We're fucking on.
We are on.
We're on.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's wrap this bad boy up.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We love it. We hope you enjoyed, whether you're watching or listening. It's good times. We got like 50-50 on this one. I think we get a lot of video views on Spotify, which is good. I don't know about YouTube, but
that's cool.
We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. YT. If you have a question, listener question, or...
did we have any this week?
No. Sad times. I put a question box up, but also we're recording next week too, so we could do that.
Weekly, everyone.
But if you have a listener question, you can either send us a DM at behindthecontent.pod on Instagram. TikTok is still
behind the
MIA.
content.
At this
It's
point,
there.
yeah, it's there. It's
I keep
there.
getting a notification that one of us has posted something, but I think
I
it's just
finally
delayed.
posted on my wedding creators account last night after
good
like
job.
4 months. Lol.
Good job.
And if you have questions and you want to email us, or you can send us a voice note on the DMs as well, we'll say that. It's all anonymous. And if you want to send us a longer message, you can email us at behindthecontentpod@gmail.com. And that is all for today. We'll see you on the next episode.
See you
Thanks.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.